Welcome back, everybody, to Just the News, No Noise. Wikipedia was supposed to be a free and open encyclopedia for everyone, but its own co-founder, Larry Sanger, sees a problem. Instead of honest debate, editors hide behind a fake consensus that shuts down real discussion. Competing viewpoints aren't allowed. So joining us now to talk even more about it all is that co-founder of Wikipedia, Larry Sanger. Larry, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Larry, I grew up at the tail end of the World Book generation, and I remember the old Wikipedia that you conceptualized had a wealth of information like World Books did, but it made it more accessible in a budding world of the internet. The new Wikipedia, though, the current Wikipedia, to me, I don't know, it's a political tabloid, it seems like.
I think it represents the views of basically globalists, academics, secularists, and progressives. GASP is the acronym of the framework that Wikipedia now works within. They no longer have a neutral point of view. They have a GASP point of view.
Wow, that's very powerful. All right, so you understand, you created this. It was such an ingenious idea. How did it fall astray? Walk us through how such a great idea, and it was a great idea, how it got corrupted to a particular viewpoint as opposed to a true neutral Wikipedia encyclopedia.
How Wikipedia came about, or
no,
how they
how did it get to that hijacked viewpoint?
Right. Well, a friend of mine was telling me about wikis. I had been working on Newpedia for a year before that,
right.
And it was to be a public contributed encyclopedia, but we wanted anybody to be able to contribute theoretically, and it was just too hard and moving too slow. And then when a friend told me about wikis, I saw immediately that it would be possible, if what he said was true, to just organize a whole bunch of people to edit each other's work in wiki fashion, and it actually worked out that way. So what happened to, after it really took off, I think, especially when, I don't know who exactly, but certainly elements of the left descended on Wikipedia when they noticed that the tendency of Wikipedia pages to appear at the top of Google results. So basically, as I like to put it, the left makes its traditional walk through the institutions. Wikipedia is one of the institutions that it walked through. There are still people on the center and even conservatives on Wikipedia, but they have to be quiet. Because otherwise they will be blocked by the current crop of administrators. But I'll tell you, my main complaint right now does not actually have to do, first and foremost, with political bias.
Right.
It's just a whole syndrome of mismanaged and missed opportunities. I really do think that the time has arrived for a reform, essentially.
Wow.
Is Wikipedia fixable, or does there need to be a replacement?
It's a good question. Of course, there are some people who think it's beyond rescue, but my view is we ought to give it the college try, at least one last time. So a friend of mine and I were talking about ways that I could use my platform, essentially, as an independent, no longer associated co-founder of Wikipedia, to put forward a reform plan for the platform. No one has ever made a thoroughgoing proposal about how Wikipedia could be reformed. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought this would actually be an excellent idea. If Wikipedia just throws this back in our face, then we will know that they're not open to just common sense proposals, because the 9 theses in my 9 theses proposal are all very reasonable. There's nothing particularly actually conservative about them. They're they're things that ought to be acceptable to everyone.
Brilliant idea, and the internet has been blown up by you today. This is such a great idea. You got that debate going that has long been stifled. Where does this go next? You've got a lot of momentum. Everybody's talking about your 9 theses. How do we ride this tsunami that you started to create the pressure on Wikipedia to fix itself?
I think there are a lot of balls in motion right now, not all of which I control, of course.
Sure.
I think in response to the 9 theses, Elon Musk confirmed what he had been hinting at for the last few weeks, that he's going to be launching Rocketpedia, apparently. And now Congress has Wikipedia under investigation. But what we can do, like the little people, and I count myself one, I'm just a middle-class guy. I'm like the poorest founder of a top 10 website. So what we can do is descend on Wikipedia, and actually make our voices heard. These are things that we have a right to do, because Wikipedia announces that they are open to anyone to edit. They're not going to, they can't go back on that. And as long as you behave yourselves, then there's nothing stopping us from going in and saying, you know what, I actually do think that the public should be allowed to rate articles. I'll just read a few of these. That we should abolish source blacklists that disallow, Fox News and the New York Post from being cited at all on Wikipedia. It's ridiculous. And another thing that we might get behind is this idea that the editorial leaders of Wikipedia should actually be named. They should not be able to be anonymous like the rank and file. I think that rank and file should be allowed to be anonymous as much as they like. But if you are among the, as I counted them, 62 most powerful people on Wikipedia, then you shouldn't be able to hide behind anonymity. And 85% of them do. So another thing that we can do, however, is just talk about these proposals, make other proposals, hold their feet to the fire. So as I say, I want people to have a good faith dialogue with Wikipedia, with the rank and file Wikipedians, the Wikimedia Foundation, and everyone, basically, and talk about how Wikipedia really could change and be made into a better citizen of the world, and really helpful to everyone. It's not just going to go away.
Yeah. No doubt.
Larry, I mean, your idea at its inception, crowdsourcing of knowledge, I mean, before crowdsourcing was really even a thing, it was just so brilliant. My concern is that Wikipedia, the monster that we are dealing with at Wikipedia right now, is not even necessarily the problem. It's a symptom of the problem, which is an aversion to the truth. How do we fix that? Because that's the big picture problem.
Yeah, that is very hard. And what you're talking about is how to design institutions in a way. I think ultimately, since you ask a philosophical question, I'll give you a sort of broad strategic answer. And that is, we need to insist that our teachers stop talking about knowledge as something that is relative. This is where a lot of people learn this falsehood. Most scientists, most responsible adults, actually, who are outside of radical centers of power, I guess, are all in favor of this general idea. There is an objective truth that can be found through careful investigation. And this isn't taught in schools, and ultimately it is going to have to be a philosophical change that it isn't going to be changed by a few policies being adopted on Wikipedia or new laws in Congress. It actually has to come from the people ultimately. We need to actually, frankly, get back to the notion that there is a truth with a capital T.
There is indeed a truth, not your truth. There's your truth, but there's not your truth. There is the truth and your opinion. And unfortunately, Wiki has turned into just
I'm just going to
so
say,
much opinion. Yeah.
Larry Sanger may not have made a lot of money in Wikipedia, but he is wealthy in wisdom. And I just want to thank him for taking this on.
Yeah.
I thought what you did today was really, really essential, Larry.
And
thank
courageous.
you.
And courageous.
Yeah.
Larry Sanger, Wikipedia co-founder, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a great discussion that was.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. Speaking of education and an aversion to the truth, at the University of Washington, a leftist student group promoted a game encouraging students to shoot political figures with Nerf guns. Another example of the left trivializing political violence. We're going to talk about that after the break.
Hey folks, as an investigative journalist, I've spent my career digging into the facts, cutting through noise, asking hard questions, and getting to the truth. And when it comes to who I recommend to my audience, I hold everyone to the same standard. That's why I want to tell you I've done the homework, and AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the real deal. AMAC is a conservative alternative to AARP. They're focused on faith, family, and freedom, and they offer real benefits to their members, myself included, including discounts on travel insurance, in prescriptions, so much more, exclusive resources, and their excellent AMAC magazine. And right now, when you sign up for a 5-year membership, you'll save up to 33%. That's just over $1 a month, a smart investment to stay informed, get real value, and support a cause that matters. Visit amac.us/justnews today. I've done the vetting. Now you can take the next step.